Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Many a times I just don't want to forget to thank you for your continued support to this channel. To those who are watching us for the first time, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. There is a story going on and it has brought a rift between leaders and supporters of the Azimio and leaders and supporters of the Kenya Kwanza team. Sometimes back there was a meeting, a summit, a Russia-African summit, where one of the world superpowers, Russia, invited African leaders and they held an accomplished meeting there under the auspices of the leadership of Vladimir Putin. While there, Putin revealed something that was shocking to the nation, even though we had already known that Republic of Kenya and that of Malawi had received free fertilizer donation. And this free fertilizer, it goes without saying, was supposed to be given farmers free of charge. But in my country, Kenya, this fertilizer was sold to farmers under the guise of subsidized fertilizer. Because when William Samoei Ruto was campaigning, he had indicated that he had a plan to bring down the cost of living, something he had accused Uhuru and Raila Amolo Odinga to have neglected. And we were told that the economic menace that we were facing was as a result of bad leadership of the former President Uhuru and his Sheikh brother. So he had maintained that by subsidizing production, the cost of living will go down. And ever since this news came that there was fertilizer that came from Russia, it is something that was in the public domain because Mithika Linturi had gone under the glare of the camera and received a shipment in Mombasa together with the ambassador of Russia, and they received this fertilizer. But the government continued to deny that there was any mischief. They continued to deny and they said there was no fertilizer that was sold to farmers. Now today there is a video that is circulating of Kenya police who invaded a certain warehouse where not only fertilizer but several grains including maize and rice that is meant for donation to be given free of charge to Kenyans who are suffering. The cereals and fertilizer are being repackaged and sold to unsuspecting, innocent, hungry Kenyans. Take a look.
Zile bado ziko na government subsidy. Ndio hiyo okay. It is not supposed to be repackaged or replaced. Na zile zimerepackagewa ready to go to local market as a mark of Kenya government subsidy fertilizer. All of this government subsidy fertilizer.
Today, during our normal operations within the entire command of Nairobi, we got information that there was some illegal business going on within this particular godown, which is within Lungalunga, within the areas of Nanyuki Road. And our teams who are on the ground were able to come, or rather to check in. And in their normal operation, they were able to find that there was some packaging of the local fertilizer, which was meant to be the subsidy, or it was meant to be supplied by the government as a subsidy. But again, after we got in, we realized that they were doing a repackaging of the same. Of course, this is something that will go under investigation because we are yet to find out why they were repackaging the fertilizer that was meant as a subsidy to the local market or for the local farmers within our country. And that, therefore, we've been able to arrest a few of the workers and also a manager who is involved in this business. And we are yet to investigate because our teams are in already to ensure that they do a follow-up and the leads to ensure that we are able to recover or to unravel what is behind the syndicate of this business that is going on in this particular go-down. And as we did our search within the same facility, we were able to recover as well relief food. This is maize. First of all, the fertilizer is actually numbering up to 50,000 bags. And the 50,000 bags is going for 4,640 in the local market. If you do the sum calculation, you can get a figure on that. But we are yet to find out exactly why they're doing the repackaging of the same, which is contrary to the regulation of the business in the market. And secondly, again, as I've said, we've been able to recover relief food with that is in the content of rice, maize, and other local stuff or food. That again is being repackaged. We are wondering in this case, who could be doing this? That the food meant for the Kenyans elsewhere, somebody is doing the repackage here. So again, our officers are on it. We are investigating on the same matter. We were able to recover a bag of 1,360 bags of rice and a good number of, maize, around 200 bags of maize, rice at the same time. The same have been repackaged again into prices, or rather into brands. The brands mostly from India. And that is quite unfortunate that I think you were able to see that. Unfortunate that we are getting this in our local markets, thinking that it is food from the so-called companies. But it is actually the food that were meant for other Kenyans or meant for free to those Kenyans who are suffering. So we are looking on this, and our investigators now have taken the matter, and we believe that very soon we shall unravel those who are buying the syndicate of this business. So we can't allow that. And that therefore means we are doing our best to ensure that everything is put in place. That is it for now as we continue with our investigation. We have already a team of experts from our DCI headquarters who are joining up the local team from Makadara and the rest to ensure that everything is being handled and managed appropriately. So that is it for now as we go on with the investigation. And we are warning those who are still doing the same business that we shall be coming for them time by time, and we shall be there for them. Otherwise, we want to encourage that let people do the right business for us to build our economy in that case. So with this matter, we are looking into it, no matter the circumstances, to ensure that we put things right.
In this video, the police officer continues to wonder how this happened, and I feel it is very preposterous for a police officer who is supposed to be on top of things telling us that he does not know how this thing happened. And I want to show you just how the Kenya Kwanza team lived in denial. One of their bloggers called Bianca had this to say, that guys, don't be distracted by Azimio Mujahideen's. No one has disputed the fact that Kenya received 34,400 metric tons of raw fertilizer from Russia. This fertilizer had to be formulated to produce 1,200,000 metric tons under the budget, then bagged and distributed to farmers under the fertilizer subsidy program through the National Trading Corporation and the National Cereals and Produce Board. According to Azimio supporters, they expect it to be distributed free of charge when it was raw. The truth is, it was raw material that had to undergo some value addition before being bagged and transported to the farmer, which meant the government had to incur some cost. Basic knowledge: if it was under Uhuru Kenyatta, he could have colluded with the cartels in the Ministry of Agriculture, and you could have bought it at exorbitant prices, say 6,500, just the same way he lied to us a few days before the election that the cost of unga would retain at 100 shillings because the subsidy program to hoodwink us into voting for his project. We continued buying at 230. This was the kind of deal. I've just read one. In the social media, people like Itumbi refused this allegation that the fertilizer that was supposed to be given free was sold to farmers. And this is a damage control and a public relations exercise. It cannot be that 2 days after these revelations, after Russia had indicated that they gave out free fertilizer. And even the Azimio leadership had said that farmers are purchasing fertilizer that is meant to be given to them for free. Only 2 days after this, we are now being told that they have speedily investigated, they have invaded a store, and they know all of a sudden who is repackaging the fertilizer, who is repackaging the rice, and who is repackaging the maize. You see, someone is playing with our collective intelligence. That is the word that our president usually uses. Someone is playing with our collective intelligence. Someone thinks that we are fools. Someone believes that we can always be hoodwinked. And I find it very traumatizing. I find it very sad that we are dealing with a government that thinks that they can do anything haphazardly and get away with it. Where were they when this was happening? Now they have planted and they want to arrest people, and maybe the investigations will be shoddy, and these people will be charged and set free because they want to save their face. We have a government that will do everything to save their face. They know what is happening. We cannot be cheated. You see, we have seen a government that will tell us that some ministers have come late for contract signing, and they create a story, a big story out of it. Why? Because they want to gain political mileage. They want to be seen as working. Number two, we have a government that is reactive instead of being proactive. I have seen somewhere that certain more revelations of fertilizer was found. Certain bags were found in a building that belongs to one of the UDA governors, and that the police have impounded the bags. And this tells you that we have a government that will let something happen, then when there is an outcry, they charge and go to it. Remember the case of WorldCoin, when people had gone to KICC and they were scanning people's eyes, all of a sudden they come up and say, we have realized that WorldCoin could be acting in breach of certain policies. This kind of leadership can plunge a country in an economic, political, or social turmoil. Because sometimes you can sleep on the job, let's say, for example, security-wise, and Al-Shabaab will come and kill people. Then you react. You now start looking for them. Let us be serious a little bit. Because instead of sitting down and start working, we have a government that continues to politic. Look at how the blame game came up. This lady, Bianca, is speaking the mind of the Kenya Kwanza team. Anything that is happening, instead of owning up, they will always drag in the name of Uhuru Kenyatta. Yes, Uhuru will never, and is never an angel. He is not impeccable. Likewise, we know that William Ruto is not impeccable. But then, can we deal with a government that will own up? When there is a problem, just accept, guys, there was a problem here, there was some loophole, but we are ready to rectify. Everything that happens, it is Raila, it is Uhuru Kenyatta. Bianca here is denying that there was a problem. Yet they are now owning up. In fact, one thing that I find very erroneous, the police is saying, we are also wondering. If the police who is supposed to investigate is wondering, then what are we supposed to do? They help us to wonder. As a Kenyan, I'm supposed to wonder, while the police is supposed to be on top of things. It is very embarrassing, very humiliating, very exposing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is totally wrong. Regardless of your political affiliation or tribal affiliation, we need to condemn such kind of things. Even if it happened under Uhuru, William Ruto should now correct them so that we see a difference. But if they perpetuate the same thing that they condemned in Uhuru government, then what is the difference?